When I first started playing Knack, I expected some sort of story-driven, lighthearted version of like Crash Bandicoot. So I was kind of surprised when I started playing it and started noticing a lot of similarities to God of War. I was like, okay, this is more of an action game than just a platformer. Like, it seemed like kind of in between God of War and Crash instead of way more on the side of Crash. I didn't really see it coming. It's like an action game like God of War minus crazy combos with different attacks and different weapons. There's no blocking or like countering. So it's more of a simplified version. So it's all about timing, right? You can't let yourself be hit or you're gonna die, because you can get killed in 2 hits most of the time. Sometimes it's 3 if there's like some really weak enemies, but there's even some enemies that'll kill you like immediately and you don't really have time to react. So you have to play it over and over again, the same enemy, to figure out his patterns and stuff, which is really cool. So it's nice that the developers kind of realized that you would be repeating the same section over and over again to get through them because you don't know what's coming. So it's like a trial and error type thing, right? So since they knew how people would end up playing, they kind of made sure to automatically skip cutscenes if you replay. Well, you will be replaying parts, especially if you're playing it on hard. Also things like it stops you from doing repeated, tedious little puzzles over if you have to replay the section. Like there's one part where you have to bring like metal to this box thing and fill it up, but you can't do it in one try. You have to fill it up, go back and get some more and fill it up again. I actually had to do it 3 times the first time. But then when I died, of course, when I redid it, I only had to go there once and fill it up. So that's nice. So as far as how it looks, I'd say it looks great for a launch title. They went for the cartoony look, so they're not really taking risks. It's not supposed to look realistic, but it still looks really good. The draw distance is great. I was always looking around, seeing cool mountains in the distance, and they didn't look sloppy and like blurry and all splattery and stuff. The colors, it's very red and blue and bright and a nice color palette. There isn't like a specific color palette. It's not like everything's brown and gray, but even the gray parts, like there's a lot of rocky areas or mountainous areas, and they're not boring to look at. Like, they're really polished and bright. Even though they're gray, it's still bright. That's what I really like that about this game. I'm just gonna go through a list basically of some negative things I thought about the game, and then some positive things. When you die and then you respawn, you just have all of your health back. So if you go into a new section and you have no health, you might as well just walk up there and kill yourself so that you can get all your health back. So when I said it's like a simple version of God of War, I think they went too simple. Of course, this is for accessibility. They want people that aren't really into games or whatever to be able to get into this, but the fact that you can only really attack with square, and the only really attacks are square, 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 or dash and square, or jump and square, right? Because of how how much they focus on the action, it's just too simple. I don't really like that. Of course, you can use super moves stuff with circle, but it's not really normal moves. I'm talking about for like comboing and stuff. Running is just normal walking is the fastest way to get around, and that's not fast at all. And I feel like this game's missing that. Most action games have some sort of way to string together dodging and attacking, or a sprint button with attacking, some sort of way to quickly get around, and this game's missing it, and it kind of actually really bugged me. As far as the voice acting goes and the writing in general, yeah, it's pretty cheesy, and it's not like it's so bad it's good or so bad that it's hilarious. It's like they were actually trying to make it serious or funny, but it just comes off as not funny, and it's just stupid. As far as specific voices, Knack's voice is so weird. It's like a deep voice, and I'm pretty sure it gets deeper the bigger he is, which I guess that makes sense. But he comes off as some really arrogant guy, but he doesn't seem like it. Like, I don't understand what kind of person he is. He comes off arrogant when he talks, but when what he's doing and how he acts, he doesn't seem like this mean, arrogant guy. But when he talks and he's all cocky, it's like, what? That doesn't seem like him at all, and the voice does not match him. Oh, and the ice physics in this game are really weird. Like, I would jump onto... Whenever I saw ice, I was like, oh, God. Because, like I said, the game's slow, but when you were on ice, you'd be, like, extremely slow. Usually in games, when there's ice, you touch it and you start sliding, and you have to, like, control yourself because you're going all over the place. No, and this is, like, the opposite. You can't move. It's like you're in mud or something. And there's also mud, like, in the game, which worked fine, and that was cool. Because it was mud. I was supposed to be moving slowly. But ice... it's just weird, and especially when you had to fight enemies around ice or on ice. It was really annoying. So before I move on to the positive stuff, I just want to get this out of the way because it's kind of positive and negative. So as far as remote play goes with the Vita, I think it works pretty well, but as you move kind of far away, it was kind of getting laggy. If you're going to use it when you're going to the bathroom, I wouldn't be doing it during a boss fight. Because you don't want to be mad sitting on the toilet, you know. Okay, let's get to some positive things about the game. Being too negative, right? So, I like how varied the enemies are. When you come into a new area, even if you're not in a new area, they just introduce tons of new enemies. There's a lot of them that will just straight up charge at you. There's some that will just kind of run or like move around the area to annoy you. Like, they move around quickly. There will be enemies that throw things that explode. There'll be enemies that throw things that come back like boomerangs. There's some enemies that will just kind of be slow, and you have to try to approach them, but if you do, they're going to hit you really hard and probably kill you in 1 or 2 hits. So, I mean, there's a bunch of different things, and the best part is how there's like enemy A and there's enemy B. So in this one area, you fight enemy A, and it'll teach you how to fight this enemy, right? And then you go to the next area, it'll teach you how to fight this other enemy. But then in the next area, it'll throw enemy A and B in there, and enemy C, and you'll just have to figure out how to fight both those enemies at once, who probably complement each other, and are placed really well, by the way. And then this other random enemy, you have no idea what it's going to do. So another thing I like about this game, it focuses solely on your timing and how precise you are with your attacks, because you really don't want to get hit. Like, you can't just get hit and shake it off. If you get hit, you're going down. You have to wait for the exact timing to take out that enemy, and usually a lot of times you can take them out in 1 hit, or 2 or 3 that you can string together quickly before they can hit you, but they can do the same to you, and it's usually 1 versus multiple. So that's always cool to you have to try to single out an enemy. You never want to fight more than 1 at once. It's kind of like Dark Souls. I just had to mention it. And another thing that adds to the difficulty a little bit is that you have this special bar that you can use this pretty powerful attack with. It makes you into like a tornado and you attack everything, and you're invincible. What's good is that when you die, you have like a special bar, and the special sunstone stuff that you collected that you used for that special move isn't replenished when you die. So if you use it and then you die, you wasted it. It's not that hard to get back, but I'm just glad that they don't give it back to you. There were some moments where I actually laughed. It was pretty funny. There's some clever writing in it, but it's mostly drowned out by the generic, cheesy writing of, yay, let's save the day. As far as glitches go, I didn't really encounter any. There was no clipping into walls or getting stuck anywhere. The camera angles were good. There were some that weren't that great. It's a fixed camera, so some of them are kind of awkward. For the most part, they were good, and there's like a big difference between what the scale is when you're small and when you're huge. Like, the way the camera scales out is cool because it adds to how big you actually are and how big you feel. So some may not like how the story was presented because they kind of go back and forth between two main plot points, but I like how they go between them, and there's kind of like this one generic plot point and there's this other pretty generic plot point, but they go between them and it kind of surprises you and keeps you interested because you're like, you never know what's going to be important at the time, and it helps build suspense, which is cool. As far as like music goes and sound in general, it's cool how the PlayStation 4 controller has the microphone in it, so you get like when you're picking up relics, it goes like, and it feels like it's actually going to you because you're holding the controller and you can hear that through the controller, so that's cool. And then the music is good. It's not like outstanding or anything, but the way they use it, and it kind of gets more intense as you're bigger. It's kind of like cutesy and stuff as you're small. That is, I guess, not even so much as a review as it is a list of things I liked and disliked about it. I just wanted to try this, kind of talk about the game. I know this isn't an ideal review. It's probably, there's a bunch of things I can improve on. Like, I've got this list of stuff over here that I keep reading off of and looking at for reference. I want to try to get better at this as I make more. If I even make more. So, I don't know. Leave some comments if you like specific things that I need to improve on. That'd be nice. So, I'm just going to finish with a nice little paragraph that I wrote that I think sums up the game. Alright? So, Knack is a fun, charming platformer that takes skill to master on the harder difficulty. It will keep you constantly prepared to face new enemies with dozens of ways to take you down. If you're looking for a deep, moving story, look away. This is all about precise platforming and battling. Where it succeeds, it still needs improvement, and where it lacks is somewhere this potential series does not need to go. I look forward to seeing a sequel not so caught up on cheesy writing and focused more on improving that solid platforming action they came close to doing just right. I give Knack a 7 out of 10.